So good morning, and thanks a million for joining me on the yoga mat this week. Our focus is going to be on mobility. So all of our practices in yoga, we're going to be working into mobility, but I'm just going to bring you into a slightly deeper focus this morning. So a lot of people come to the mat looking to gain flexibility, which is great. Flexibility is all more so about kind of lengthening into the muscle fibers, so creating a kind of a stretch reflex. But if we continue just to stretch into a muscle, eventually over time that muscle is going to become elongated and even weakened and maybe even frayed. So if you think about an elastic band, if we continue to stretch into it, it's not going to be in the long term very good. So when we talk about mobility, we're really talking about kind of stretching, releasing and engaging into the muscles surrounding the joints and encouraging a really good, strong, functional range of motion within the body. So we're not just stretching, we're also strengthening, we're creating functional movement. So when we talk about flexibility, often we're kind of going beyond our range, whereas when we talk about mobility, we're trying to work into our own optimal range. So we're not looking for hyper mobility, we're just looking for a nice, strong, functional mobility. So you'll see kind of as we go through the practice this morning where that feels within the body. And generally, if it doesn't feel good, we're probably going beyond where we need to be. If it's a slight kind of, oh, that's okay. But once we're kind of going beyond that, then we've probably gone into that hypermobile stage, which we really don't want. We want kind of nice functional movement within the body. So we're going to start in a nice, easy cross-legged seat, sitting as comfortably as we can. Nice and tall into the spine, nice and open into the heart. Notice if the rib cage is flaring. See if we can draw the belly button in, trying to start to engage with those core muscles. And just noticing where the breath is at this morning. So notice if we're holding it, notice if it's caught up in the chest, and see if we can sink it nice and deep down into the belly. And as we do that, just allow those shoulders roll back. We'll take a few nice big circles into those shoulders. So we're going to inhale, draw the shoulders up toward the ears, and as we exhale, draw them together down the spine. And continue with your own breath. And again, we're just looking for our own natural range here this morning. But do notice if one side is a little bit easier than the other. Really exaggerate that range. Relaxing into the breath. So as we draw those shoulder blades together down the spine, almost imagining like you're gripping something between those shoulders and you're drawing it all the way down. Again, just create a little bit of heart space here this morning. And then we'll come to stillness. We're going to inhale, press the chest all the way over to the right. Bring it through center to the left. And as we exhale, tuck the chin. We're going to round between the shoulders and continue with your own breath. So nice full circles here. Feel free to close the eyes down. Just really engage with the movement. So not getting too caught up with what it looks like and just enjoying that sensation of space, freedom, length within the spine. Really pressing the hands into the legs to draw ourselves a little bit further out to those sides. So see if we can elongate the sideways. Relax the head, relax the neck, maybe even allow the weight of the head to bring us a little bit deeper into those circles. And you can slow it down, you can speed it up. So whatever your body is feeling like this morning, if it needs a little bit more energy, sometimes speed. If it needs a little bit more groundedness, maybe just slow that movement down and really appreciate that movement. We're going to meet back at center. We'll reverse the crisscross of the legs, just balancing out the hips, rest the palms, and we'll inhale, press the chest to the left, through center, to the right, and as we exhale, tuck the chin and round and continue. Again, nice full circles. Softly in and out through the nose. Again, feel free to sigh the breath out if you feel that you get a little bit more release. And see if we can really grind those sit bones into the mat. Finding our solid foundation this morning. Notice as we change direction how it feels within the body. Again, just really allow yourself to fall into those circles. See if you can make each circle a little bit larger than the previous. So we're really looking for that space. And then we'll meet back at center and seat. We're going to open the palms again, relax the shoulders back, and then we'll inhale both arms out, reaching up Interlock fingers, press palms to ceiling. As we exhale, press the palms forward and really stretch between the shoulders. We'll do that 2 more times. So nice big stretch, arms right back by the ears. And then exhale, press forward and release. We'll do that once more. Lovely. We're going to inhale the right arm up, bend the elbow, drape the hand across the head, and slowly draw that right ear toward the shoulder. Maybe cross the left hand over the body, resting it wherever it lands. And as we draw that ear toward the shoulder, see if we can draw the left shoulder away from the left ear. Getting a nice little stretch here. And then we're going to tuck the chin to the chest and start to feel that into the neck and the upper back. So as we inhale, lengthen. And as we exhale, tuck that chin a little bit more. And again, not forcing the range here, just getting a nice sense of release. One more breath. And then gently release back up to seat. We can rest the right hand. We'll inhale the left arm up, bend the elbow, drape the hand across the head, drawing the ear toward the shoulder. So not the shoulder toward the ear. Keep those shoulders down. Maybe crossing that right hand across the body, resting it. And again, drawing that right shoulder away from the ear. We might stay here, or if we can, we're going to gently tuck the chin, starting to feel that into the upper back as well as the neck. So as we inhale, lengthen, and as we exhale, tuck the chin. Once more. And then gently release, inhale back to center. And as we exhale, come to seat. Again, just continuing with that neck mobility. Simply inhale, center, and as we exhale, take the gaze all the way over to the right as far as we can go. Inhale back to center, and then exhale, take the gaze all the way over to the left. Continue here with your own breath. Again, feel free to close the eyes down. And again, we're looking for a balanced range here. So just notice if we can go a little bit further one side comparing to the other. We'll do it once more, both sides. Again, really exaggerating that movement. And then meeting back at center. Last one for the neck. We're going to interlock fingers, place the palms of the hands to the back of the head. Allow those elbows to relax. And then gently, we're just going to tuck that chin toward the chest. Again, feeling it both sides of the neck into the upper back. We'll inhale here. And as we exhale, keep the chin tucked. We're going to look all the way over to the right as far as we can go. Inhale back to center. And as we exhale, take the gaze all the way to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Back to center. Exhale, left. We'll do that once more, both sides. And again, you can do a lot more of these in your own time if it feels really good. And then back to center. And then slowly we're going to bring the head up. And we can release the hands. And if it feels good, we're just going to take the gaze up toward the ceiling. So allow the head rest. And with the gaze up toward the ceiling, see if we can bring the teeth together. So we're getting just an extra little stretch into the front of the neck here. And we're just going to hold it here. Relax the shoulders, lengthening tall for 3. For 2. And 1. Gently take the head back to center. We're going to work into the spine. So we'll inhale both arms out, reaching up. And as we exhale, gently twist to the right. We'll place the left hand above the knee, right hand on the ground behind us. Walking the hand around the lower body. We're going to look over the right shoulder. Pressing the left hand into the leg, maybe drawing ourselves a little bit deeper. So as we inhale, press that right hand into the ground. And as we exhale, gently twist. So inhale, lengthening through the spine. And exhale, twist. Continue here with your own breath. Again, mobilizing into the spine and core here. That twist starts in the lower spine and moves all the way up through the neck. Try to keep that right hand nice and close to the lower body so we're not relying on it too much and we're engaging with those core muscles. We'll take one more breath. Inhale gently back through center, little twist to the left, just release, and then back to center again. We're going to reverse the crisscross of the legs once more, just balance out those hips. We'll open the palms and then inhale both arms out, reaching up. And as we exhale, gently twist to the left. We'll place the right hand above the knee, left hand behind us. We'll walk the hand around the lower body, really draw that left shoulder back, and we're looking over the shoulder. See if we can draw both shoulders away from the ears. So find that space into the neck. Pressing the right hand into the leg to draw ourselves a little bit deeper. As we inhale, press the left hand into the ground, lengthen tall. And as we exhale, gently twist. So creating space in the body on the inhale. And then twisting, releasing into that space on the exhale. We'll take 2 more breaths. Nice full deep belly breath. Using that breath to mobilize the core from the inside out. Last one. And then inhale gently back to center, a little twist to the right, just to release, and then back to center again. Lovely. So from here, we're going to come to lie back on the ground. So you can flatten out the feet, bend the knees, just make sure your block and your strap are there beside you within reach. So working down into the hips now, we're going to hug the right knee in, straighten out through the left leg. Right hand's on the knee, left hand's on the hip. We'll draw a few little circles into that right hip. Either direction, we'll end up doing both. Maybe the fingertips come to the knee, those circles get a wee bit larger. And if that feels good, we can bring the right hand to the ground beside us and draw those circles a little bit larger. Once again, relax the shoulders. So notice if we're tensing into the chest muscles, just really melt those shoulder blades together on the ground. If we do have that right hand on the ground, see if we can bring the whole length of that right leg into the movement. So we're drawing the knee across the body, into the chest, opening wide into that hip, maybe even straightening the leg, press away through the heel. And relax the breath. Again, feel free to close the eyes and just really engage with that movement. We're going to reverse the circle, opposite direction. And again, we're looking for our own maximum range here. So the slower we make these circles, the more engagement that's required in the muscles around the hips. So really it depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for strength, slow it down. If you feel like you need a little bit more energy within the body, you can speed those circles up and just notice how that feels. So again, there's no right or wrong, just whatever feels good for your body this morning, just wakening up into the joints, into the muscles, nice and strong. And then we'll hug that right knee into the chest. Lovely. We're going to bend the left knee, place the left foot flat to the ground, and we'll rest the right ankle just above the left knee, figure 4. Draw the toe toward the knee, press that right knee forward, and then we're going to lift the left foot off the ground, shin parallel to the ceiling, interlock fingers around the back of the hamstring, or we can use our strap, wrap it around that leg as a little extension of the arms. So as we inhale, walk the shoulder blades together, connect the whole end of the spine to the ground. And as we exhale, draw the left knee a little bit closer as we press that right knee forward away from the body. And we're going to stay here, releasing into the right hip, but we're going to start to draw a few nice circles into that left ankle, again, either direction. And I want you to really exaggerate those circles. So we're looking for a nice full rounded movement, and maybe allowing each circle to get a little bit larger than the previous. Still hugging the left knee in, still pressing that right knee away from the body. And we're going to reverse those circles. So again, just mobilizing into the ankles here. And we're looking for a nice smooth range. So notice any little points of resistance, any little restrictions within the movement. And we're trying to iron them out, just using the movement itself. And come to stillness. We can stay here for the next few breaths. If you feel like you want to go a little bit deeper, you can drop the left heel and interlock the fingers around the front of the shin, but don't force it. Either way, we're holding it, breathing into that right hip for 3, for 2, and 1. Release the grip, release the left foot to the ground, and we'll cross the right leg fully over left. Extend both arms out in line with the shoulders, palms down. We're going to shift the hip a little bit to the right, allow both knees drop over to the left, coming into a lovely spinal twist. Looking over toward the right fingertips. If we feel we're not fully in the twist, just shift those hips ever so slightly to the right, creating a little bit more space for that twist to happen. So as we inhale, take a nice full, deep belly breath. And as we exhale, release. And continue here with your own breath. If you feel like going a little bit deeper, you can bend the left knee, walk it a little bit further out to the right, maybe even catch hold of the front of that foot. Maybe bring the left hand, drawing that right leg a little bit further across the body. So coming into a little pretzel shape here, inner twist. But keep drawing the right shoulder down. Keep drawing that right leg across the body. Nice full, deep belly breaths here for 3, for 2, and 1. Releasing out of our shape, we're going to inhale back to center. Stay in here, so right knee over left, draw the belly in, and we're going to hug the knees into the chest, interlock fingers either around the right knee, the left shin, or catch hold of the front of the ankles, and draw those heels as far away from each other until we feel a nice release into that right glute. Relax the elbows, relax the shoulders. And then we're going to draw those knees as close in toward the chest as we possibly can, whatever shape we're in. We're going to stay here. If you feel like getting a little bit more into the core, you can always lift from the chest so the head and neck come off the ground, but you're still hugging those knees to the chest, so you're not tucking that chin in. Gaze is up. Holding it here, breathing into that right hip space for 3, for 2, and 1. Gently release the head, release the grip, release the feet all the way down to the ground. We're going to uncross the legs, hugging the left knee into the chest. We'll straighten out through the right leg. Left hand is on the knee, right hand rests on the right hip, and we'll draw a few wee circles into that left hip. Again, either direction, we end up doing both. Maybe the fingertips come to the knee, those circles get a wee bit larger. And if the hip feels stable on its own, feel free to bring the left hand to the ground and try to draw those circles a little bit larger once again. So elbows and shoulders are relaxed here. Find that space into the heart. Relax the breath. And you might find that one side needed the support of the hand and the other side doesn't. So again, just exploring the range left to right. Relax the breath. Softly inhale, exhale through the nose. And then we're going to reverse those circles opposite direction. And again, really exaggerate that range. So particularly if the left hand is on the ground, see if we can bring the whole length of that left leg into the movement. So nice full circles. And again, just noticing the range on the left comparing to the right. Not getting too frustrated with it, but definitely making a little mental note. So we're aiming for balance. There's very few, if anybody, is going to be perfectly balanced, but we're aiming for balance. And then gently hugging that left knee back into the chest. We're going to bend the right knee, place the right foot flat to the ground. Rest the left ankle just above the knee. Draw the toe toward the knee and press that left knee forward. You might need to work that right heel a little bit closer. And again, just notice if that left knee is pointed over the shoulder. We're consciously pressing it forward, finding that space. And then we can lift the right foot off the ground, shin parallel to the ceiling. Either interlock fingers or wrap our strap around the back of the hamstring. As we inhale, gently feed those shoulder blades together, whole length of the spine on the ground. And as we exhale, draw the right knee a little bit closer as we press that left knee forward. And that right shin is parallel to the ceiling, ideally. And then we can start to draw those nice full circles into the right ankle. So again, as we work into the left hip, seeing if we can get a little bit of mobility into that right ankle. And the hips and ankles are really quite strongly related. So we'll find if we have little imbalances in either, they're going to affect the other. And again, just notice how that movement is compared to the other side. Relax the shoulders, relax the breath. As we make those circles, we should feel all those lower leg muscles engage and release. So we're going to reverse the circle, opposite direction, and just notice how that feels. So slow it right down for this one. Again, looking for range, nice and easy. And then coming to stillness, we're going to release the grip, release the right foot all the way down to the ground. We'll cross the left leg over the right. Nice easy crisscross. Extend the arms out, palms face down. We'll shift the hip a little bit to the left and allow both knees drop over to the right, taking the gaze over toward the left fingertips. Again, fine if we're not fully in the twist, just shift those hips ever so slightly to the left. So ideally that left hip is stacked on top of the right. Both hips are down the center line of the mat. So arms are extended out, palms are down, or you can come into cactus arms if you feel that's better for you this morning. Either way, finding that space into the heart as we inhale, lengthening through the spine, nice full deep belly breath. And as we exhale, twist and release. If you want to go into your pretzel shape, you can bend the right knee a little bit further, walk the right foot out to the left. Maybe catch hold of the front of the foot with the hand, or maybe wrap a strap. We might even bring that right hand to rest on the outer left leg, drawing that left leg a little bit further off to the right. Still looking over the left shoulder, still grounding both shoulders together. Nice full deep belly breath. So if we're working into our pretzel twist, we're going to feel a little bit more release into the front of that right quad and hip. But again, optional only. For 3, for 2, and 1, gently release. We're going to slowly roll back onto our back, staying in our easy crisscross legs. Draw the belly in, and we're going to hug those knees into the chest. Interlock fingers either around the left knee, right chin, or maybe catch hold of the front of the ankles, drawing those heels as far away from each other as we can. Relax the elbows, relax the shoulders. See if we can draw the belly in, and then we're going to really hug those knees as close into the chest as we can. And as we hug the knees closer, we'll feel that release a little bit deeper in the left hip. If you want a wee bit of upper core option only, we're going to lift from the chest so the head and neck come off the ground, but we're not losing that hip release. So keep hugging those knees in. Relax the breath, softening into the pose here for 3, for 2, and 1. Gently release the head, gently release the grip, release the feet back down to the ground, and we're going to uncross the legs. Hugging both knees into the armpits, so hips are open, feet are apart, knees are apart, hands are on the shins. As we inhale, press the shins into the hands, and as we exhale, allow the hips open. So we're inhaling shins into hands. Exhale, open the hip. Continue here with your own breath. If you want to come into your full happy baby, feel free to bring the soles of the feet parallel to the ceiling. Catch hold of calf shins, maybe ankles, maybe inner arches of the feet, or we can interlock middle and index finger around the big toes, but just make sure that lower back stays planted on the ground. As we inhale, press soles of the feet toward the ceiling. And as we exhale, draw the knees down toward the ground beside us. And again, this could be a small movement, it could be a large movement. Listening to the hamstrings here for in our happy baby. So if there's pinching up near the sit bones, maybe just bring that grip a little bit closer back to the knee so we can still work hip space, but we're just not going quite so deep into those hamstrings. So they might have already reached their end of range. So by forcing them further, we're not going to help. Particularly if the hips are very tight, those hamstrings tend to get over lengthened or overstretched. So again, just listening to the body, not forcing the movement. Inhale, press up. Exhale, draw down. 1 more breath. Lovely. And then we'll bring the knees together. We're going to crisscross the ankles. Options to make your way anyway to seat, or we can rock and roll just the ones, bringing ourselves into a nice strong seat at the front of the mat. Straight away we bring the hands forward. We're going to shift the body weight forward, stepping back onto the knees. We're going to find ourselves in a lovely strong tabletop center of the mat. Shoulders over elbows over wrists, elbow creases face forward. Toes can be tucked or untucked. We're going to press the ground away and really draw that belly button in. As we inhale, take the gaze forward and up, arch the spine. Exhale, press into the ground, curl through the spine, tuck the chin to the chest. Inhale, gaze goes forward and up, arching. Exhale, press into the ground, curl through the spine, take the gaze back to the belly and continue with your own breath. Nice, strong, exaggerated cat-cow curls. Feel free to close the eyes down and just really engage with that movement. So visualizing the spine like a string of beads, and we're trying to draw those beads apart as far from each other as we can, working the whole way from the base of the spine all the way to the base of the skull. So that whole line of energy, we're creating space, movement, noticing the breath. So just softly breathing in and out through the nose. Again, feel free to sigh it out if you feel like you get a little bit more release. And next time as we exhale, tuck the chin, we're just going to pause here. And then we're just going to send the body weight over to the right. So both right shoulder, right hip. Inhale, center. Exhale, send the body to the left. And continue here with your own breath. Head and neck are relaxed. And we're just getting a little bit more space in between the shoulders, into that side body, into those hips. Pausing at center. And then we're going to fall back. So gaze is forward. Nice strong arch into the spine. And again, just sending the weight to the right. Sending the weight to the left. And get nicely stretched into the neck here as well. Really pressing those hands strongly into the ground. And then meeting back at center. So again, a little bit of T-spine mobility. We've done this one a couple of weeks ago. We can actually leave our block this time. You can place the block on the lower back if you wish. Left hand comes to the ground. We're going to inhale the right arm up, opening the heart, bend the elbow, place the palm of the hand to the back of the head, and see if we can draw that right elbow a little bit further up. We're going to inhale here, and as we exhale, right elbow comes down toward left wrist. Inhale, open the heart, keep the lower back stable. Exhale, gently close. We'll do that 4 more times. Inhale, open as wide as we can. Exhale, close. 3 more. Looking for range as much as we can. 2 more. Last one. And then meeting back in our tabletop. Our right hand stays where it's at. We're going to inhale the left arm up and open, bend the elbow, palm of the hand to the back of the head. See if we can open the spine a little bit more. We inhale here. And as we exhale, elbow toward right wrist. Inhale, open as wide as we can. Exhale, close. 4 more. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. 3 more. Again, trying to keep that lower back stable. So we're working mainly into the middle spine here and into the heart. Last one. As wide as we can go. And then we meet back in our tabletop. Lovely. Okay, still here. We're going to mobilize into those hips. Hands stay grounded, shoulders stacked over elbows and wrists. We're going to press back through the right foot. See if we can draw the belly in so we're not collapsing into that lower back. Nice and strong. We'll bend the right knee. We're going to open the right hip. Pressing the sole of the foot as far to the left as we can. We're going to visualize a box out to our right. And we're going to inhale that right knee up, over and around that box. We're going to brush it past the right elbow, down toward that left knee, and then all the way back to the start. Rotate the hip. So inhale, up, over and around. Elbow, knee, back to the start. Continue with your own breath. Staying strong in both arms, so try not to collapse into the elbows, into those shoulders. So keep pressing the ground away. So we're creating nice full, big, round circles here. Try to keep the foot and knee as high as we can. for as long as we can, not forgetting that hip opener when we come back to the start. Slow it right down. And again, we're looking to mobilize and strengthen into that right hip. Keep drawing the belly in nice and strong. Gaze can stay relaxed in between those hands. Just think of the neck as an extension of the spine. So we're not looking forward, we're not really looking back. Nice and relaxed. Starting to really feel it here. We're going to do one more round. And we'll meet with the sole of the foot parallel to the ceiling. We're going to straighten the leg, land onto the ball of the right foot. Gently press through the heel, and we're just going to send the body weight back into that heel. So we can kind of bounce a little bit. And just feel that nice release for 3, for 2, and 1. Bringing right knee back into meet left. We're going to do the same on the other side. So again, get nice and strong here. Straightening the left leg behind us. Draw the belly in. We're going to bend the left knee. Opening that hip. Pressing the sole of the foot as far to the right as we can. Visualizing that box out to our left this time. We're going to inhale the left knee up, over and around the box. Brush it past the elbow, past the right knee, and then all the way back to the start. Rotate. Continue with your own breath. Again, gaze is relaxed. And just notice one side is often a little bit harder than the other. Relax the breath. And again, if you need to take a breather, listening to your own body here. So not forcing yourself through a movement. Going to a place that you feel challenged. And when that challenge becomes too comfortable, then going to the next. Again, really exaggerating that movement. So it's a nice large movement. We're going to do one more. And we'll meet with the sole of the foot parallel to the ceiling. We're going to straighten the leg, gently land onto the ball of the foot, pressing back to the heel. And again, feel free to kind of pulse into that left heel. So we're not really forcing the stretch, just getting a nice little bit of blood flow and stimulation into the back of that leg for 3, for 2, and 1. Left knee comes back to meet right. From here, we're going to tuck the toes. We're just going to gently sit back, and we're going to bring the hands so that the fingers are pointing toward the ground. We're going to face the back of the wrists forward so that the palms face. So just a little bit of a wrist stretch here. And then we're just going to send the body weight back toward the heels. So we might need to go too far to feel that stretch. So we're stretching basically into the forearms and into the front of the wrists. And we're just going to hold it here for 3, for 2, and 1. And then from here, again, we're going to bring the palms forward. So the fingers are still pointing toward the ground. And then we're going to flatten out the hands. So we're going into the inner wrists here. And again, we probably don't need to sit back too far here to feel that release. Again, just breathing into the wrists. This is really nice if you spend a lot of time at a computer. But even just when we're coming out of our tabletop, just to give those hands and wrists, those forearms a little breather. Holding it for 3, for 2, and 1. And then we'll bring those hands back into our tabletop. Lovely. We're going to bring the hands forward out in front. Gently send the body weight back toward the heels. We're going to look back between the feet, pressing hands and feet into the ground. We'll hover the knees and then press those hips as high as we can. Gently lower those heels as low as we can, coming into our downward dog. So we're going to press the ground away. Try to draw the chest a little bit closer toward the mat. As we lift from those hips, feel that space into the lower spine. See if we can paddle out the feet, allowing opposite heel melt softly toward the ground without forcing it down. Do notice if one heel goes a little bit easier than the other. And we're using the movement to really massage the full length of the foot. Heel to toe, toe to heel. Relax the head, relax the neck. Relax the breath. Coming to stillness here. We'll inhale the right leg back and up. We're going to bend the right knee and then open the hip. So pressing the sole of that right foot as far to the left. See if we can lift the right knee a little bit higher, drop the left heel a little bit lower. Holding it here for 3. Opening into that right hip and waist for 2. And 1, gently release right foot down to meet left. Same on the other side. We'll inhale left leg back and up, bend the knee, opening the hip to the left side this time, pressing the sole of the foot to the right, lifting the knee, lowering the heel, holding it here. Nice full deep belly breaths for 3, for 2, and 1. Release the left foot back to meet right. Gently, we're going to walk our way to the front of the mat and we'll meet in the lovely wide-legged forward fold. So bring those feet as wide apart as we need so that we can easily touch the ground in line with the big toes. If we can't touch it, bring the feet a wee bit wider, or we can use a block, a bolster, a chair. Just make sure the hands are connected to something. Left hand stays grounded. We're going to inhale the right arm up and open the heart, gaze follows up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, left arm up and open the heart. Exhale, release. Inhale, right arm up and open, gaze follows. Exhale, fold. Continue both sides. So that hand that's on the ground or block, we're pressing it into the ground, acting as an extra little bit of leverage to draw ourselves into that twist. All the weight is back into the heels and hips. So see if we can wiggle those toes. Legs are straight. So again, if they're not, just bring the feet a wee bit wider or use that object to press our hand into. Each time we exhale, really falling into that fold. Again, feel free to sigh the breath out if it feels better. Again, and we're looking for a nice natural range here, making the movement as flowy as we can. So getting rid of any resistance, any restriction to the movement. Just flowing from side to side. We'll take 1 more breath, both sides. Meeting in a nice relaxed forward fold. Allow the head, neck, arms, shoulders release. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Sigh it out, let it go. And then gently tuck the chin, slowly, little by little, we'll roll our way all the way up to stand. Head comes up last, and then we can heel toe those feet toward each other. Meeting at the front of the mat, we're going to do a few little hip circles, so still continue with that theme of mobility. So feet are wider than hip width distance apart, hands are to the hips. We're going to inhale, press the hips forward, and as we exhale, nice big circles, we press them back. So again, very simple movements. But what we're trying to do here is create range. So again, exaggerate the movement. Maybe bring a little bit of softness to the knees here. That might allow us to make those circles a little bit larger. So try not to restrict the movement. Spine is long, gaze is relaxed. So maybe find a point out in front to focus our gaze. And see if we can make those circles a little bit larger. Once again, relax the shoulders. And then we're going to reverse those circles, opposite direction. So working into hips, hamstrings, sideways. So such a simple little movement that can create a lot of space and energy within the body. And again, just really noticing that movement, noticing if it gets caught a little bit more in the left, a little bit more in the right. And then we'll meet back at center. While we're here, just stepping those feet together this time. We're going to soften into the knees and we're going to rest both hands onto the knees. And again here, we're just going to draw little circles, but we're leading those circles with the knees. If you need to step the feet a little bit further apart, so if you do feel unbalanced, by all means do, but try to keep those knees together. And again, it's a nice small movement. So we're mobilizing into the knees. We're also getting into those ankles and lower legs. And you'll probably feel that into the feet. So again, pressing all corners of the feet into the ground. And we're going to reverse those circles, opposite direction. Nice long spine here. And again, mobilizing into the joints in this way is so good. When you think of predominantly our movements, we're kind of forward and back. We don't really round into the joints enough. And that's usually when we injure, that's usually what's happened. We've rotated and our body's just not used to it. So if we can kind of encourage the body to get used to those rotations, those twists, those torsions, we're hopefully able to protect those joints a little bit more. And then we can come to stillness. And then we're going to keep with the knees bent. We're going to inhale both arms out. We're going to come back into a little chair. Notice if the bum's popped out, we're going to suck the belly button in. See if we can draw the arms back in line with the ears. If you're not quite there this morning, we can open into our cactus. We're going to hold it here, sitting back into our chair for 3, for 2, and 1. We'll bring the hands to heart. We're going to inhale, lengthen. And as we exhale, we're going to twist to the right. And we're going to hook the left elbow to the outside of the leg. Palms are pressed together. Right elbow points toward the ceiling. See if we can draw the right shoulder back. And we can stay here. Notice if the left knee is tracking forward. See if we can draw it back. So knees are literally glued together. We can stay here. If we want to go a little bit further, we're going to place the body weight into that right foot. We're going to step back onto the left knee. We can scooch it back a little bit further. So coming into a lovely spinal twist here. And again, we can stay here, or if you wish to challenge the balance a little bit further, pressing into the ball of the left foot, coming off the knee. And again, just really drawing that right shoulder back, really pressing that left arm into the leg. We'll hold it here for 3, for 2, and 1. Slowly release the knee. We'll inhale, turn to the front. We're going to frame the right foot. Come off the knee. Left hand stays in the ground. We'll inhale the right arm up and open. And as we exhale, bend the elbow, bring the forearm toward the ground. Inhale, right arm up and open. Exhale, forearm to ground. Inhale, open. And this time as we exhale, right hand comes down to the ground. We'll drop the left heel down, engage the core up into warrior. Extend the arms, palms face down. We're going to soften into that right knee, right foot point forward, drawing those inner thighs toward each other. Relax the shoulders, palms face down. We'll find the right middle finger. Inhale, straighten the right leg, arms together, overhead, look up. Exhale, bend the right knee, warrior lunge. Inhale, lengthen, reach and rise. Exhale, warrior lunge. 2 more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lunge. Last one. Inhale, reach. And exhale, warrior. We're going to inhale, straighten the right leg. Keep it straight as we exhale. Reach the right fingertips as far forward as we can. Bring the right hand to the back of the leg. Extend the left arm up. Pressing that left hip forward, drawing the left shoulder back. We're going to inhale here. And as we exhale, bring the left hand all the way over. And then we're going to bring it down to touch the right. And then inhale, left arm all the way back up. And as we exhale, reach it overhead. And then all the way down to touch the right. Continue. Nice big circles. Really opening into that heart space, using that right hand to open into the hip a little bit more. And each time we're drawing that arm back in line with the ear. So we're looking for a full rotation here. Nearly there. Next time the left hand comes down to meet the right, we're going to pause. Inhale, both arms together, all the way back up. And as we exhale, bend the right knee, open the arms, warrior. Cartwheel both hands down either side of the foot, coming onto the ball of the left. Gently step the left foot forward. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up through center, hands extended up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. Again, we'll step those knees and feet together. And then slowly, we're going to sit back into our chair. So nice and slowly. So really conscious of that bum popping out. So even if we're only bending slightly, really try to tuck the belly in and keep that nice strong spine. Maybe getting a little bit deeper, but again, just notice that spine. Again, we're going to bring the arms up in line with the ears. And if we're not getting them all the way back, we can always open into our cactus arms. So whatever shape we're in, we want to make sure we feel space across the front of the body. Holding it here for 3, sitting back for 2, and 1. Hands come to heart. We're going to inhale, lengthen, and as we exhale, this time we twist to the left, hook the right elbow to the outside of the leg. See if we can draw the left shoulder back so that elbow points to the ceiling. We're pressing the right arm into the leg, so we're lifting the belly off the leg. And we can stay here, again, noticing those knees. If they're tracking off, try to glue them back together for 3, for 2, and 1. Transferring the weight into that left foot this time. We're going to step back onto the knee or onto the ball of the foot if you wish. Just finding our balance here to start with. Really pressing that right arm into the leg. Hands are at the heart. And again, if you want to challenge the balance, if you're not there already, pressing into the ball of the right foot, lifting off the knee, but still focusing on our twist. Holding it here, but not the breath, for 3, for 2, and 1. Release the knee, slowly twisting to the front. We'll frame the foot coming off the knee. The right hand stays in the ground. We'll inhale, left arm up and open the heart. As we exhale, bend the elbow, forearm toward the ground. Inhale, left arm up and open, gaze follows. Exhale, forearm to ground. Inhale, open. This time, exhale, left hand back to the mat. We're going to drop the right heel down, engage the core. Opening the arms, nice strong warrior here. Left knee, left foot point forward. So notice if that left knee is collapsing inward. See if we can engage with that left hip. Finding left middle finger, we're going to follow up with the gaze. Inhale, straighten the left leg, arms together, overhead, gaze is up. Exhale, bend the left knee, warrior lunge. Inhale, lengthen, reach and rise. Exhale, warrior. 2 more, really pressing the back of that right foot into the ground, drawing those inner thighs together, really strong in the hips. Last one. Meeting in a warrior. We're going to inhale, straighten the left leg, keep it straight as we exhale, reach the fingertips as far forward as we can go. Bring the back of the hand to the inner leg, extend the right arm up, press the right hip forward, draw the right shoulder back. We're going to follow that hand with the gaze. Inhale, right arm all the way overhead, reach. And as we exhale, right hand comes down to meet left. Inhale, right arm back up toward the ceiling, opening. And then exhale, nice full big circle. So again, we're following that right hand with the gaze. Try to create as much space and opening as we inhale up. Arm is in line with the ear as we reach forward and then all the way down and continue. So again, lovely little bit of torsion. Working into those intercostal muscles as well here. So try to really focus on those lovely full belly breaths to really encourage that movement and that opening. Nice full circles. Next time the right hand comes down to meet left, we're going to pause. And then we'll inhale both arms together all the way back up. And as we exhale, bend the left knee, open the arms, warrior. Cartwheeling both hands down either side of the foot, coming onto the ball of the right. We'll shift the body weight forward to lift the right foot up to meet left. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up through center, hands extended up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. Take a little drink if you need. We've got one last little flow. And when you're ready, we're going to meet at the front of the mat. Feet nicely grounded, hip width distance apart. Hands to heart, shoulders relaxed. Grounding that left foot. We're going to inhale the right knee out in front. A little bit of balance here, so if you do need to locate yourself near a wall or a chair, please do. We're going to inhale, open the right hip. As we exhale, bring the right foot behind. Inhale, lower, and then exhale, right knee out in front. So inhale, open the right hip. Exhale, lift the back foot. Inhale, lower the foot. Exhale, close. Last one. So keeping that right knee in line with the hip throughout the whole movement, if we can. Again, mobilizing strongly into that hip. We're going to inhale here, soften the left knee, and as we exhale, we'll step that right foot back into a nice high lunge. We're going to drop the right heel down, opening the arms back into our warrior. Relax the shoulders, palms face down. We'll inhale, straighten the left leg, arms together overhead, look up. Exhale, and then the left knee, warrior. 2 more this time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, warrior. Last one, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, warrior. From a warrior, we'll keep the left knee bent. We're going to rest the right hand on the back leg. Inhale, left arm up, flip the palm. And as we exhale, reach the left arm to the back of the room, looking over the shoulder for 3, for 2, and 1. Inhale, back to warrior. As we exhale, rest the forearm on the front leg. We're going to inhale, right arm up. And as we exhale, reach it to the front of the room. Arm is in line with the ear. Gaze is toward the fingertips. Reaching for 3. Bending into the left knee for 2. And 1. Inhale, back to warrior. And as we exhale, cartwheel both hands down either side of the foot. Ball of the right. We'll shift the body weight forward to lift the right foot up to meet left. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up to center. Hands extended up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. Second side. Again, really grounding those feet. Relax the shoulders. Find that focus point out in front to fix our gaze. We're going to really ground that right foot this time. Inhale, lift the left knee out in front. Again, use the wall if you need. Holding it here. We're going to inhale, open the hip. Exhale, lift the left foot up. Exhale, lower the foot. Inhale, knee out front. Exhale, open. Inhale, lift the back foot. Exhale, lower. Inhale, knee out front. Last round. And again, just work with a nice strong breath. So don't get too caught up with when we're exhaling, when we're inhaling, once we're breathing with the movement. We're going to pause at the front, soften the right knee, and we'll step it back with control into a nice high lunge. Again, find stability here and then drop the left heel down, opening the arms into our warrior, bending into the right knee, really drawing those feet toward each other. So almost like we're trying to grip the mat toward each other. We're going to follow the right middle finger. Inhale, straighten the right leg, arms together, overhead, gazes up. Exhale, bend the right knee, warrior lunge. 2 more. Inhale, lengthen, reach. Exhale, warrior. Last one. Meeting in a warrior, keeping that right knee bent. We'll rest the left hand on the back leg. Inhale, right arm up, flip the palm, and as we exhale, reach the right arm to the back of the room, looking over the shoulder for 3, for 2, and 1. Inhale, back to warrior. As we exhale, bend the forearm, rest it to the leg. We're going to inhale, left arm up. And as we exhale, reach it all the way to the front of the room. Again, arm is in line with the ear. So really drawing that left shoulder back, using that right forearm to really open into the hip. If it's okay, we're going to take the gaze up toward that left middle finger, challenging the balance as we reach for 3, for 2, and 1. Inhale, back to warrior. And as we exhale, cartwheel both hands down either side of the foot, ball of the left. This time, we'll step the right foot back to meet left, lift the hips, walk it out nice and easy in our downward dog. Relax the head, relax the neck, relax the breath, softening with the movement. Coming to stillness, we're going to release down onto the knees, and then we're going to scooch our way down onto our bellies. Just make sure our face is connecting with the mat and not the floor in front. We can make a little cushion by piling one hand on top of the other. And then from here, staying on our bellies, we're going to bend the right knee all the way out to the right. Try to get the knee up in line with the hip or as close as we can. And if we want to go deeper, you can always bend the knee a little bit further. And then we're going to look over toward that left elbow and just rest the head down. So we're only going to stay here for less than a minute. So again, just getting into a little bit of hip space. If it feels good, you can always walk that right foot out a little bit more. And we're really sending that right inner hip toward the ground. But try to notice if those glutes want to switch on. So really try to tune in and just let them know it's okay. And we're just going to relax those glutes and we're just going to soften into this space. Maybe coming back to that lovely full deep belly breath. So a little bit like our frog pose, but just a lot more gentle on the body. And you're just going as far as feels good. And again, you can always come up onto the forearms if you feel that that feels better for your hip. So again, playing around within the pose, finding a place that feels comfortable for you. We just have a couple of more breaths here. So every inhale, nice full deep belly breath. And every exhale, release and let it go. One more breath here. And then slowly, very slowly, we're going to bring the right foot back down to meet left. Maybe just shuffle the hips a wee bit side to side. And then coming to stillness, we're going to bend the left knee out to the left, moving that knee up in line with the hip or even higher toward the elbow. So again, just listen to your own body here. Maybe bring that left foot a little bit further out to the left. So make any adjustments. And then we're going to look over toward that right elbow, so opposite direction, and just really sending that left hip down. And again, notice if those glutes want to get involved in the action, just remind them to relax. Just for now, sinking into that space and just focusing on a nice, relaxed, full belly breath. And this doesn't have to be a very deep release. It's just a nice sensation. Again, feel free to come up onto the forearms or whatever else feels good for your body. And one side might have felt amazing and the other side maybe not so. So again, just respecting, acknowledging any of those imbalances, working with them as opposed to fighting them, and just sinking into that space wherever it is for you this morning. Nice full deep belly breath. The last couple of breaths, so you're nearly there. One more. And then ever so gently, we're going to bring that left foot back down to meet right. Gently rock the hips side to side. Again, just releasing any little bit of tension build up, particularly in those glutes and lower back. And then we come to stillness. We're going to bring the hands back in line with the chest, elbows tucked in. We'll tuck the toes, press the ground away, lift the hips, downward dog. Last downward dog of the morning. Feel free to walk it out. Feel free to bring a little swagger to your walk. Maybe look underneath opposite armpits. Maybe take a completely different movement to downward dog. So whatever your body is needing this morning, just these last couple of moments, whatever feels good. And eventually come into stillness. We're going to release down onto the knees, untuck the toes, we'll tuck the chin and walk the hands back toward the knees until we're sitting back up onto the heels. And we can finish our practice here. We can come into easy cross-legged or any other seat that feels better for you this morning. Wherever we are, we're going to open those palms to the ceiling, feeling a little bit of energy for the day. We'll open into the heart, lengthen into the spine, and just find that breath and send it nice and deep down in through the body. And we'll inhale both arms out, reaching up. Interlock fingers, press palms to ceiling. As we exhale, press the palms forward, release the breath, sigh out and let it go. We'll do that twice more. And then bring those hands to heart, press the palms together, close down the eyes, and just thank yourself for creating a wee bit of space in your morning to come to the mat, to look after yourself, to create some lovely energy, strength, and mobility, and hopefully take that with you into the day and into the rest of the week ahead. And thank you for sharing your practice and your energy with me. Namaste.